Hi, it's Joy, and today we're watching The Umbrella Academy, Season 4, Episode 3, The Squid and the Girl, which I'm guessing is Ben and Jennifer, because when they touched hands, Sparky Sparks happened. I am so intrigued with the starting of this show. I am also very concerned. This episode, at the end of it, will mark the halfway point of the final season, which is insane. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week.
That's right, Jessica. I'm here with two local crabbers who
Okay, there's a literal giant squid.
Okay, now getting back to the squid here. I don't know if you guys are getting this in the studio, but there seems like there's a
person.
I mean, this is incredible, but I think okay.
The cleanse.
As you can see, many questions.
The squid and the girl. Not what I was expecting in the slightest.
They smell like wet sheet.
Goats, I thought. Maybe llamas. Who cares?
They're calling this phenomenon the umbrella effect.
Yep.
Husband, what was I supposed to do? Let you die?
No, it's just 3 whole years down the drain.
And it wasn't just her. Every single person in Luther was screaming it. Elliot. Victor was screaming it. Like, everyone wanted you to have that stuff. Don't just be mad at Allison. There's a lot to be mad at Allison about in the past season. But this...
As long as I'm around, you don't have to look directly at your empty pit of a life.
Oh, okay,
wow.
wow. You know what?
So done. Living, cowering in your little bubble of superiority.
Klaus.
Who took care of you since Ray walked out? None of these guys gave a
Oof.
shit. Who took care of your little Claire? You wanted the old Klaus. You got him.
Actually, we just wanted you to live.
Somebody else have some shit that they want to get off their chest? Because now's the time.
Allison, this might not be the best
No?
time to do this.
Good, because I'm done being the bad guy in this family.
I like when they work together. I know they're dysfunctional and that's their whole thing, but I like when they're at least vaguely together.
Careful. Hey, Ben.
I think we need to split up. Me and Lila will follow up with the keepers. The rest of you go talk to Dad.
Lila and Diego should talk.
I'm going with you guys.
It's better if we stick together.
It
No,
is.
it's not.
Don't play dumb. The little Greek guy. Mustache.
Is
that funny to you?
Yes.
No, it's just worse than an affair.
Okay, as much as I would love to.
Why is it worse?
We have much.
I mean, it's not good that she was lying. He has a right to be upset.
Busting my ass. Oh, trust me. I mean, I'd rather be out there cracking.
She should probably don't elaborate on the fact that she and Five worked together one whole time and she was doing it by herself before. They were very dysfunctional and then suddenly married. Why? There's obviously a connection between them. I mean, he has tentacles, she turned up on a giant squid. Or was that just her power and it wasn't to do with when they touched? He did say it could smell like llamas.
Oh, you gotta get back on that horse, Kimasabi.
Don't. Don't.
Why did you blink his hair?
Believe me, Lila, it was not.
How did she make him blink? Because she doesn't
Ever
have the
since
ability to
Ben
mimic
spiked
them
his
anymore, does
fat
she?
stinky marigold,
Come on, let's take a ride.
I don't want to be hopping on trains until we understand this,
You
Lila.
need to move your ass.
Five, you should not be going on this train. Lila, what are you doing? I really hope he's able to control it more now and doesn't need to resort to that.
And I'll pay you back.
Klaus.
Klaus, whatever happened, why don't we just sit down and talk about it?
She's a lovely girl, good news.
You could just stay and talk to me for a minute.
Move, please.
We could just get through this together.
Will you please just fucking move? Now!
He's resorting back very quickly to the worst version of himself. Try, Klaus. You can try.
Told you.
Addiction is brutal, but this is hiding from his ghosts, literally.
Damn, it smells like
Head first! Diego, there are so many other ways to do this.
Dear diary, why do I always wear suits?
Jumped forward ahead of time to the end of the world.
No. We haven't jumped anywhere. We're not moving forwards or backwards through time.
This is just an
Just going to
apocalypse
alternate
timeline.
versions
Is
of
this the
now.
one where the moon
This is me in
exploded?
Dave's apartment.
What?
It's him.
Did you just fart?
Get down!
Yep.
I must improve my cardio.
Hope this train's going the right way.
What's so special about October 14th, 2006?
That's the day Ben died.
Yeah, I was wondering.
That's
Oh my god.
Hello, Benjamin. This is an extremely volatile situation.
Who is
Okay?
this
You
guy?
can either believe me, got to see this through. You've everything you need to
I'm
find her.
so intrigued. And I don't trust this man,
Okay,
but I
just
also feel like he might help Ben
close
find
your
Jennifer.
eyes.
Proof that the world we live in is one big phony baloney lie.
It's just a different timeline, you weirdos.
I was teaching at Harvard, and Gene was a MacArthur fellow.
Okay.
So just, you had a dream where you got what you wanted and you had a happy life. Why does that make this timeline wrong?
Jennifer, destroy all the false timelines and restore the real one.
We're ready, sugar.
Then you just wouldn't exist because you exist in the other timeline.
How can being an old friend will help jog your memory?
Squid.
Think about it, kiddo.
Did she was it like a repressed memory or what is going on? I mean, it's a very modernized aesthetic version of their house that the Umbrella Academy, isn't it?
I've heard so much about you.
You have?
Yes.
Does this guy remember all the timelines or just the last one?
Stop it! You always were a sick puppy.
Not in the face, please.
Piece of shit.
How many people has this guy killed? Because he did that very easily.
Bitch.
I mean, yeah, he could float and now he can come back from the dead. Owls, what choices are you making?
Must be quite cold. Is this really how you treat your guests? Threats and interrogations?
Yes.
Now
It's how he
sit down
raised them.
and we'll have a conversation, darling.
No, thank you, darling.
He
If I may be
abused
so
these
bold,
kids their whole lives.
she's your complete opposite in every way imaginable. And she has more power than all of you put together. Hey!
Is he going on about?
We need to talk about Ben.
Well, a lot of the gang's back together. Klaus!
Explains how Ben died. It refers to it as the
Fuck.
Jennifer incident. Tell us.
Well, it was a tragic accident. Ben,
Oh
our
my
Ben
God.
died because
Allison, how did Ben die?
It was a tragic accident.
Mm-hmm.
Ben died because we failed as a team.
what the hell is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it obvious? Someone's been
Reginald.
playing putty with your hippocampus.
Messing
Mm-hmm.
with our memories.
Just like with Jennifer's.
Completely different version of myself from a completely different timeline. That said, it does sound like something I might do.
It's not
Here
wrong.
we go.
You're gonna put him back. Each and every memory that has to do with Ben's death. Because
Fuck.
if you erase the Jennifer incident, that means there was something.
Okay, one thing I have with this is if he has memory erasing technology and did in the original timeline, why didn't he just wipe Vanya, as she was known's mind as a child, that way? Why did he get Allison to rumor her? I guess because he couldn't get her to the machine as easily. I guess, but like, he could have just wiped her mind. His mind. I don't know how you should refer to him before he was aware.
I will do.
Your handiwork. Whatever timeline it
This is
happens
so weird.
in, help them, please.
And explain what you mean by Jennifer is the opposite of you and better and everything. Like, yeah, he's found her. Mildly concerned Ben's going to die again. Oh my god. I mean, look, they're rich enough to have this whole ranch. I think their lives are pretty good. Gotta be some dancing in this show. A lot of death here. Why do they shoot their own people?
But shooting them would have ruined everything.
Okay. So they want Ben and Jennifer together?
I wasn't on the team then, but I am now, and I want to know the truth as much as you do.
Yep.
Excellent.
He was around. Like, when they got home, they might have said things that he heard.
Yeah, I think that we need a break from each other. Time to reassess our marriage.
Lila, this was not the time to say it. The literal worst time she could possibly have said that. Can we see what happened? I guess the child actors are too old now, so no, but...
Is this gonna hurt? Indubitably.
Did there used to be a number extra person? Like, was Jennifer one of them? No, that's so mean! Ending it there is ridiculously cruel because I want to know what they remembered. Okay. This episode, I feel like, was one of those episodes that are necessary in shows where you kind of move the plot along, you get things going, you get the characters where you need to be, they start collecting the information they need ready for the build-up. Like, there are 3 episodes left. For probably the next episode, we'll learn some information, but we'll also continue the build-up. It's kind of what I assume will happen. The gene's terrifying. Now, they want the cleanse. Now, we learned more about the cleanse than the rest of the characters did, in that, like, Jennifer appeared in a giant squid and said, "The cleanse." It makes as much sense as pretty much anything that's ever made on the show, so, like, I'm fine with it. I'm going with it. But I'm very intrigued about all of it, and I hope we're gonna get satisfactory answers. Now, with the memories that they're regaining, I'm thinking of things from the level of they used to be an extra member of their group to Jennifer was there that day and she and Ben interacted and it caused something terrible to happen to Ben, and Ben is currently running around with Jennifer, and so that is quite stressful because they have some kind of a connection. I don't know what it is. He's a bit tentacly. She was in a giant squid. Like, I don't know. I really have no idea. This version of Reginald is obviously far more amenable, but I still don't trust the man as far as I can throw him. Like, one thing is that he's got what he wanted in this timeline, but I still don't trust him. Like, if what he has is threatened, he would turn on literally anybody, maybe except from his wife. I hate that they split up, and I don't mean just initially the groups doing different things. I hate Klaus going off and doing his own thing, and I hate Ben going off. Now, with Ben, it's kind of less of a thing I hate. Like, I still don't like it, but because he kind of is that sort of outsider member, it makes more sense. And it doesn't not make sense for Klaus to go off, but he was dying. I mean, obviously, it was one of those things when they were doing it where it was quite clear that that was not something he wanted done, but he was dying. Now, with most situations like this, like in other fantasy sci-fi shows where people have done the thing that they knew the person didn't want, but it was to save their life, you kind of have the thing of, well, if ultimately they decide that they'd rather die than live like this, that is still a choice they can make. But that isn't actually a choice Klaus can make, so that is one area where this is worse. But he was dead, and surely being alive is better than being dead. And one thing I hope is that he at least tried to deal with the ghosts and everything that he sees before he decided he had to resort to it. Now, obviously, there is a huge thing of it's a giant trigger. One of the many things that will trigger him with his addiction is obviously going to be seeing the things he used to see. So I don't hate him or think, oh my god, you're so weak or anything like that. I just hope for his sake he tried to just deal with it, because their powers are all a little bit different. Not all of them. Some of their powers are different. Alison's power is different. Lila's power is different. Five's power takes him to a interdimensional subway station. Like, it's not quite the same. So there might be a way for him to learn how to deal with it, especially now that he's an adult and not a little boy being locked in a crypt. Like, there is a chance for him to have a healthier way of dealing with all of this. That while with But the way he would do that would be by leaning on the people he loves. And the scene with him and Claire was particularly heartbreaking, but I think it was very much, she was approaching it like he was just tempted back into his addiction, which he is. That's why he was stealing all the money and valuables and things. But it's just so heartbreaking to see how addiction hurts people around you. But it is an illness and a disease, and like, I don't blame Klaus for it. It breaks my heart to see, but I still think he's alive, and that's better than being dead. Like, there's a hope, there's a chance with him being alive, whereas if he bled out in the back of that car, there's no hope, there's no chance. Lila continues to frustrate me. She frustrated me that she didn't tell Diego the truth. It was very Lila about where she was going, and especially when she was aware he was suspicious, you just tell him. But then, right before he has his memory thing, to be like, we should have a break. And obviously, like, when he was like, no more secrets, and she agreed, obviously, like, he was then thinking, oh, things will be healthier between us now, and that's not what she was going for. But at least wait till, like, they're alone to tell him, or, something. I don't think that having a break would be the worst idea, because neither of them are happy, but still, it was just such a messy way of doing things, and it shows that she's grown a bit from how she first started, but she hasn't grown that much at all, and that's often something I find frustrating with this show, is you want these characters to be building bonds and strengthening their relationships, and I feel like every time they do, they then take 3 steps forward, and then they take six steps back, and then they take 3 steps forward and 6 steps back, and you're like, maybe it's 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, because they are kind of progressing forward ultimately, but it isn't far enough, and it's quite frustrating to watch. It's very in vibe with this show, but, and I mean, their relationship isn't something that I'm like, they're perfect together, but I just feel like with Klaus leaving, with Allison being like, I'm sick of being the one you're all angry at, and like that whole kind of, like, she did something really, really bad. She sided with their dad. Then she turned it around and helped them. Like, it's a complicated situation with them being upset with her, and also with Harlan. Like, a lot of stuff happened. They have every right to be upset with her. She can't just expect them to magically not be anymore. But they also still love her, and it's just a complicated situation that they need to talk about, but they never do. So them getting their memories back, I still do think it raises the question of why didn't he, when Victor was a child, I mean, I'm a cross with myself. I probably should just refer to him as Victor the whole time. I'm really sorry that I didn't. When Victor was a child, couldn't Reginald have just got him into the machine, like he clearly did to wipe out Ben's death, to make him forget about having powers instead of using Allison to rumor it? Or was it because Allison didn't need to forget, it was just cleaner? But then Allison didn't consciously know, or did she always consciously know? I don't remember. I don't know if that's a plot hole or not, but yes. The Jeans want the cleanse. There was a Jennifer incident. She came out of a squid. She said the cleanse. She and Ben are together, but the Jennifer. Did I say the Jennifers? I might have said the Jennifers. The Jeans didn't seem too fussed that she and Ben were together, and they killed their own men to stop them from shooting Ben and Jennifer. It's concerning. All of this is concerning. Reginald is too helpful. That's concerning. Klaus's whole plotline is concerning. Yeah, I don't know what he expected from, I guess he wanted to buy drugs from this guy, so he was like, if I prove he can't kill me, then he'll just accept that I'm now just a paying customer again. But instead the guy is probably gonna like use him as like a spectacle, or like in a fight club or something. I've literally got no idea. Stress, all around stress. But yeah, we're really building the interdimensional train station. I mean, I feel like there are just different timelines, and we are in a particular timeline. And something that I think is really funny is that for the Jean's reason for proof that this timeline is wrong and bad is that they're not successful in their careers in this timeline, but they are in a different one, which I'm in the wrong timeline. In a different timeline, I would be a best-selling author who, in a different timeline, my reaction channel is the biggest one on YouTube. Like, what nonsense. You can talk all sorts of things. Like, it doesn't mean you're in the wrong timeline. It just means you're in a timeline. And if you destroy this timeline, you destroy yourself. And that other version of you that exists in that other timeline still is going to exist. But still, I'm really enjoying this season. I'm very intrigued to see where it goes. And if I never hear about Baby Shark again, it will be too soon. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and thank you so much for watching.